Hello everyone. Welcome to the daily current affair analysis from Veranda IAS. Today we are going to see some of the important current affair topic from the day of 7th of June 2023. And let us move on to the topics of the day. The first topic that we are going to discuss is about 508 districts in the country are free of manual scavenging, said the ministry's report, which can be mapped to GS2 governance welfare schemes for vulnerable sections of the population by the central and states and the performance of these schemes. And after that, we'll be moving on to the topic, what is Varunastra, which can be mapped to GS3 science and tech. And the next topic will be about Nyaya Vikas portal, which can be mapped to GS2 government schemes and initiatives. And the next topic will be about Pradhan Mantri Bhartiya Aushadhi Kendra, which can be mapped to GS2 government schemes and initiatives. Moving on to the first topic. 508 districts in the country are free of manual scavenging, said the ministry's report. Now let us see what is the context of this news. So you should understand that the Union Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment said that out of the total 766 districts in the country, only 508 districts have declared themselves as manual scavenging free, and this data was revealed by the ministry during when the ministry has prepared an outline on its achievements under the current government's performance since 2014. So in the today's article which mentions about this news, they are mentioning about the Namaste scheme and also a new summary with respect to the manual scavenging. So in this analysis, let us discuss about what is this Namaste scheme mentioned in this article. So the Namaste stands for National Action for Mechanized Sanitation Ecosystem. Okay, so friends, remember Namaste stands for National Action for Mechanized Sanitation Ecosystem. Don't forget that. It has been launched with an objective to ensure safety and dignity of sanitation workers, especially in the urban India, as well as providing a sustainable livelihood to these workers and just to rehabilitate themselves from the manual scavenging occupation. So definitely, as I already say, in order to have an effective functioning of any particular scheme, we need the collaboration from different ministries. Am I correct? So here also we can see that different ministries are involved. So it is launched as a joint initiative of the Minister of Social Justice and Empowerment and the Minister of Housing and Urban Affairs also. Okay, and who should be the implementing agency for this scheme? It is the National Safai Karamchari Financial Development Corporation, or NSKFDC, is the implementing agency for the Namaste scheme. What about the coverage? 500 cities will be taken up under the face of this Namaste, which will be conclusive with the Amrit cities. What is Amrit cities? Anyone know what is Amrit cities? Yes, many have said it correct. Amrit means Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation. What is that Amrit scheme? So, Amrit scheme is actually an initiative to provide basic civic amenities to the urban areas to improve their quality of life, with a major focus to the poor and the disadvantaged who are residing in the urban areas. So, this Namaste scheme will be also integrated with the Amrit cities, and it will be implemented for the period between 2022 and 2026. So, now let us understand what is the aim of this Namaste scheme. So, the Namaste scheme said that there should be zero fatalities in sanitation work in India. That is, during the manual scavenging, no person should die no fatalities should happen during the manual scavenging, and all sanitation work is performed by skilled workers only with the help of technologies. Then no sanitation workers come in direct contact with human fecal matter, and sanitation workers are collectivized into self-help group or SSGs and are empowered to run sanitation enterprises so that they will be more organized with more safety and precautions and measures will be also taken, and all these are coming as the aim of this Namaste scheme. And also it includes that all sewer and septic tank sanitation workers have access to alternate livelihoods. That means it should not be become a kind of a hierarchical occupation, and they will be also improvised, or they will be also incentivized with the different monetary benefits to take up other works also. Okay, moving on to the status of the manual scavenging in India as per the article report. So deaths related to manual scavenging. So let us see how the deaths are being reported or related. So the Social Justice Ministry has maintained in almost every parliament session in the last 2 years that there is no manual scavenging taking place across the country. But is it true? There are definitely some kind of deaths that is happening because of the manual scavenging. We can also see that in the news. So how that is happening? So these deaths have been attributed to hazardous cleaning of sewers and septic tanks. So any kind of like that which is happening by manual scavenging, the ministry itself is reporting that it is not due to manual scavenging, rather it is due to the dangerous situation or the hazardous cleaning of sewers and septic tanks in which these workers are being employed. And so as per the officials, the ministry have differentiated manual scavenging from hazardous cleaning of sewers. And also they maintained that the surveys conducted in 2013 and 2018 had identified all the existing manual scavengers. That is, how many manual scavengers are there in India? We can see that almost 58,000 manual scavengers are there in India based on the census which have taken by, based on the surveys which was conducted in 2013 and 2018. Hence, manual scavenging no longer exists in the country because why? We will say that in the next slide, that is all those kind of manual scavengers who are being like identified as per the surveys that is conducted in 2013 and 2018. That is, the total 58,000 manual scavengers are brought under the rehabilitation scheme. So that we can see that all the 58,000 people or manual scavengers are taking up the monetary benefits and incentivizing them to take up the rehabilitation or to take up the new work. So in the papers, at least, all these people have changed or shifted to the new jobs. So we can see that only in the papers we can say like that the people have shifted to their new jobs also. Okay, so that is why we can see that manual scavenging no longer exists in the country, which we'll see in detail in the next slide. Then districts as manual scavenging free. We can see that 508 districts have reported themselves as manual scavenging free also, and rehabilitation of manual scavengers. So according to this scheme for rehabilitation, the 58,000 identified sewer workers have been given a one-time cash payout of 40,000 rupees each. So out of this 58,000 people, they were given a cash benefit of 40,000 people. So who all avail this 40,000 rupees each, they are being shifted out of the purview of manual scavenging. They no longer belong to the category under manual scavenging because they have taken this 40,000 rupees and they now are coming under the people who shifted their occupation, or they have been rehabilitated from the occupation of manual scavengers, at least in the paper. So that is why ministry is saying that there is no more manual scavengers in the city because people are already brought under the rehabilitation scheme. So self-employment scheme for the rehabilitation of manual scavengers, so the SRMS was started in 2007, in the year of 2007. So under the SRMS, the Social Justice Ministry had identified a total of 58,098 eligible manual scavengers in a nationwide survey that is conducted in 2018. And after identifying the scavengers, the Minister of Social Justice had announced that the practice of manual scavenging that doesn't no longer take place in the country. Why? This is because all manual scavengers had been accounted for and enrolled into their rehabilitation scheme. This is the reason why, which I said in the last slide. That is, the ministry is saying that there is no more manual scavengers in the country. Why? Because all manual scavengers, that is all the 58,000 manual scavengers identified by the survey, had been accounted for the rehabilitation scheme. So those who have taken the money as per the rehabilitation scheme, they are being identified as someone who are being moved out of the manual scavenging process. So in papers, at least, we can say that there is no manual scavengers. In addition, around 22,000 of them have been connected to skills training programs. Subsidies and loans are available to any of them wishing to set up their own business. So government is also trying under this SRMS scheme, that is self-employment scheme for rehabilitation of manual scavengers, so that they can take up any other jobs as they wish and they have to come out of this manual scavenging. Now, under this Namaste scheme, if we analyze as per the article given in the news, the scheme for rehabilitation of manual scavengers has now been merged with the Namaste scheme for 100% mechanization of the sewer work. And the guidelines for this scheme are yet to be finalized according to the ministry. And if you see the financial year 2023-2024 union budget, no allocation is being given for this rehabilitation scheme, but rather 100 crore allocation is being given to the Namaste scheme. So we can see that this scheme for rehabilitation of manual scavengers is now merged with Namaste scheme, and no more budget is being allocated for the rehabilitation, but rather it is being given for the Namaste scheme. Moving on to the next topic, that is about what is Varunastra, which we can map to the GS3 Science and Tech. What is the context? Indigenously designed and developed heavyweight torpedo Varunastra was recently successfully test-fired with a live warhead against an undersea target by the Indian Navy. So we can say that it is about a heavyweight torpedo that is called as Varunastra. So now let us understand what is this Varunastra. So it is a ship-launched missile, heavyweight, electrically propelled anti-submarine torpedo capable of targeting quiet submarines both in deep and shallow waters in an intense countermeasures environment. And it was designed and developed by the Vizag-based Naval Science and Technological Laboratory under the Defense Research and Development Organization and is manufactured by the Bharat Dynamics Limited. So those who have seen that thumbnail of our today's video, you can see this Varunastra acid being given in the thumbnail also. Okay, so this is actually a weapon that can be fired from the ship and will be used by the Navy and can be fired from all the anti-submarine warfare ships capable of firing heavyweight torpedoes also. Now let us see some of the very factual information with respect to their features. It has a length of 7.78 meters and a diameter of 533.4 mm. It is capable of being launched from surface ships as well as in submarines. It can achieve speeds in excess of 40 knots, that is 74 km per hour, and also has a range of 40 kilometers or 25 miles. So it weighs around 1.5 tons and carry a 250 kilogram high explosive warhead and has a maximum operating depth of 600 meters and all long range with multi-maneuvering capabilities. So if you see the kind of a guidance system, suppose if this is a target here, the weapon or the torpedo, when it is being fired, it should be guided in order to reach the correct location, right? So for that we can see that active passive acoustic homing. Acoustic means what? With respect to the sound waves. Using the sound waves, we can see that they are being used for the guidance of this torpedo. Then wire guidance, GPS and NAVIC satellite guidance are also being provided. It has conformal array transducers. What is the use of conformal array transducers? To look at wider angles than most common torpedo. For example, if this is a target and normally if the torpedo is coming this way, so in normal torpedoes, the angle in which they can search is only this much. But using this conformal array transducers, the angle in which they can search has become increased over this period. So we can see that this torpedo called as Varunastra, it is actually an enhanced or technologically very much enhanced version because it has a capability to search in a wider angles than most of the common torpedoes and has an advanced autonomous guidance algorithm with very low drift navigational aids and insensitive warhead that can operate in various combat scenarios and GPS based local aids. Okay, and now let us understand about Nyaya Vikas portal. What is the context? The Nyaya Vikas portal has been created for monitoring the implementation of the centrally sponsored scheme called as Nyaya Vikas. So what is this Nyaya Vikas portal? Let us see that. So it is actually empowering the stakeholders with seamless access to information about funding, documentation, project monitoring and approval. Funding and documentation and project approval of what? Let us see that. So the Department of Justice has been implementing the centrally sponsored scheme called as Nyaya Vikas for the development of what? Infrastructure facilities for the district and subordinate judiciary since 1993 to 1994. That is, this Nyaya Vikas is a kind of a scheme that is being developed, that is centrally sponsored and has been implemented by Department of Justice. For what? For the development of infrastructure facilities for the district and the subordinate judiciary. Under the scheme, the central assistance is provided for the state government as well as the unity administration for the construction of court halls and also residential units for the judicial officers, judges of district and subordinate courts also. So that is the project that is being implemented by the Department of Justice to improve the facilities for the district and subordinate judges. And how does the fund sharing happen? It happened between the central and state in 60-40 ratio in respect of states other than northeastern and Himalayan states. That is, the fund sharing is in 90:10 in respect of northeastern and Himalayan states and 100% in respect of union territories. And also, what is the need of this portal? And what the portal will be doing? The portal has been created for monitoring the implementation of the scheme. That is where the funding have been delivered, whether the documentation have been done. So such kind of a monitoring will be done by this Nyaya Vikas portal also. Okay, moving on to the next topic, Pradhan Mantri Bhartiya Jan Aushadhi Kendra. What is the context? Recently, the government of India has decided to allow 2,000 primary agricultural credit society to open Pradhan Mantri Bhartiya Jan Aushadhi Kendra across the countries. Now let us see what is this Pradhan Mantri Bhartiya Jan Aushadhi Kendra. So many of you might have seen about this Jan Aushadhi Kendras, right? So these are actually set up under Pradhan Mantri Bhartiya Jan Aushadhi Pariyojana, which was launched by the Department of Pharmaceuticals, Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers in November 2018. So what was the aim? It was aimed to provide quality medicines at affordable prices for all, particularly the poor people, to reduce out-of-pocket expenses in the healthcare. Because we know that even though India is the most important exporting country of pharmaceutical medicines, we can see that the cost of the pharmaceutical or the medicines is very high even in India. So this Jan Aushadhi Kendras, if you go there, you can purchase medicines at a very generic medicines or generic drugs at a very low cost. So these Jan Aushadhi Kendras provide generic drugs which are available at very lesser prices but are equivalent in quality and efficacy to expensive branded drugs. So all these kind of branded drugs or the pharmaceutical companies, they are taking a huge money from the people, but these generic drugs will be of very common cost. So Jan Aushadhi stores also sell allied medical products commonly sold in chemist shops to improve the viability of running the Jan Aushadhi stores. So the Pharmaceutical and Medical Devices Bureau of India, also called as PMBI, they have been established under the Department of Pharmaceuticals, Government of India, with the support of all the CPSUs for coordinating procurement, supply and also marketing of generic drugs through the PMBKs. And the incentive amount of rupees 5 lakh will be provided to set up Pradhan Mantri Bhartiya Jan Aushadhi Kendra also. So a 5 lakh rupees of incentive will be provided to those who want to set up this kind of Jan Aushadhi Kendra. Now, who can open up a Jan Aushadhi Kendra? Definitely that is a question that should come to a UPSC aspirant. So state governments or any organization or reputed NGOs, trust, private hospital, charitable institution, doctors, unemployed pharmacists, individual entrepreneurs, they all are eligible to apply for the new Jan Aushadhi Kendra, but there is only condition: the applicant shall have to employ one B Pharma or D Pharma degree holder as pharmacist in this proposed zone. So they will be only having the kind of a required specialization for giving the medicines as per the prescriptions of the doctors to the patients. Okay, so now let us move on to the question of the day. So which of the following statements is correct about the Namaste scheme launched by the government of India in relation to the manual scavenging? So option A, Namaste stands for National Action Plan for Manual Scavenging Eradication. Then option B, the scheme aims to provide financial assistance to manual scavengers for skill development and alternate livelihood options. Option C, it focuses on the construction of modern toilets and sewage systems in rural areas to eliminate manual scavenging practices. Option D, Namaste scheme is a comprehensive legislation enacted to enforce a complete ban on manual scavenging across the country. So we can see that it is we have already seen that it is the scheme main aim is to provide financial assistance to manual scavengers for skill development and also for their rehabilitation, that is to find alternate livelihood options. So the right answer to this question is option B. So with that, we have come to the end of today's daily current affairs analysis. So I hope it was very beneficial for you. So unless and until we meet next time, this is Prince J signing off. Thank you so much.